Hey guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. My name is Jack.F. I'm a freelance videographer, photographer and video editor, helping you take your videography and video editing to the next level. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Now today we have a very special type of episode on the channel. I've managed to get an interview with Jack Cole. Now if you don't know who Jack is a freelance videographer and video editor. He's taken his YouTube channel to over 400k subscribers. He's filmed some big profile clients, the nightclub videography scene from Future, ASAP Ferg, Fat Joe, Nelly, just to name a few. And in this episode we predominantly focus on up and coming videographers in the videography scene and the nightclub videography scene. So if you're new to the videography scene, this is the episode for you. And if you're a bit of a veteran, you're probably going to learn something from Jack. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the episode. Right, oh shit, your desk. Right, we're here with Jack Cole, the man, the myth, the legend. I've been watching this guy for years. So Jack, tell us, who are you and like, what is your background?
Shit, man. I suppose. So I'm a videographer. I'm a video editor. I suppose I can probably describe myself more along the lens of I'm an entrepreneur, right? So what brought me into video editing, what brought me into videography was just my actual passion of business, right? So I looked at YouTube. I've been into YouTube for quite some time, and I thought, all right, cool. So this is something that I can make a business out of, right? Same with video editing. This is something I can make a business out of. Same with videography. This is something I can make a business out of. And that's essentially just been it, right? So I pursued business, right? I pursued that, and I've been able to build a solid career as a video editor, a solid career as a videographer, and, you know, a solid career as a YouTuber, essentially just along this pursuit of being an entrepreneur.
And I've been watching your videos for a long time, and I know that you're a fan of Gary Vee. Did he kind of like influence like kind of like get you getting into like the whole videography and setting up your own YouTube channel?
Yeah. So I've been doing YouTube for longer than that. I've been doing YouTube before I even knew who Gary Vee was, actually.
Really?
When I was like 16 years old, I blew up doing GTA 5 trolling videos. Right?
I used to love those videos.
Exactly. There you go. Right. So I've been at this for quite some time. Right. And I was originally just inspired by the YouTubers that I watched. Right. Let me shut this window real quick.
No worries.
They're making crazy noise on the street. But yeah, I was originally just inspired by the YouTubers that I grew up watching, right? I grew up watching people like C-Nanners, people like Syndicate, like real OG early day guys, right? I'm sure, you know, you're from the UK, you know, Syndicate, right? Like classic guys, right? And I suppose I was able to see just the lifestyle that they were able to create for themselves, right? So that's again, along the lines of just entrepreneurship. I seen people who essentially had built this wild lifestyle off the back of making content, and really just off the back of themselves, right? There was no one that put them in position. There was no one that, no corporation that they were necessarily tied to, right? And through sheer work ethic and just literally manifesting, you know, a empire, a business, whatever the case may be, purely off the back of their work ethic, right? And I saw that as something super controllable, something that you could do yourself, right? So I'm there at, you know, what, 13, 14 years old. And, you know, I was like, okay, cool. So they've been able to, off the back of just making content, build this entire business for themselves, you know, put themselves in, you know, a very, very nice place for themselves, for their families, and, you know, build a phenomenal business off the back of their work ethic. And I realized that that was something that I could do too. And I didn't need to kind of sit around and, you know, get, approval from somebody, or get like, you know, someone to come and say, oh, yo, Jack, we're going to take you and we're going to do this for you. It was something that was controllable to me, and I could literally do it myself. Right. So that's essentially when I started. I saw them doing it. I was inspired by them doing it. And then I just decided to pursue it myself. Right. This YouTube channel that's successful now, this has to be the 20th YouTube channel, right? Like when I'm 12, I had when I'm 12 and a half, I had another one. When I'm 13, I had another one. I'm 13 and a quarter, I had another one. I've been through a million YouTube channels, right? So many different types of content. And I think I was lucky, to be honest, because a lot of people don't get inspired and see something that they can do until they're a little bit older, maybe. For me, I was such an internet kid, right? Like when I was younger, the first like 10 years of my life, my mom didn't let me have any screens. Like she didn't want me to have a single screen. And what that did was it amplified my want to get in front of the screens, right?
Oh, I know, yeah.
Exactly. So by the time I'm about 12, 13, I actually get my hands on this shit. I get my hands on a laptop, right? I get my hands on technology, and it's all I want to do. So naturally, I'm a kid. When you're a kid, you really can just get brutally obsessed with stuff, right? And I was lucky enough. The thing I got obsessed with was YouTube and this idea that you can build, an amazing business just off the back of content. And I've got videos that are hilarious where I'm like 11 years old, like literally pretending to do like a review of like a game magazine and shit like that, just because I was trying to emulate what I saw on YouTube, right? And that's essentially it. So Gary V, going back to the question, I talk a lot, bro. I'm trying to simplify my stuff, but Gary V came a little bit later. He essentially shares a lot of those same qualities that I saw in the original people that inspired me. That sort of go-getter attitude, that entrepreneurship, that just get it done. You don't need to wait for people to tell you can do it. You just go get it. You just go make it happen, basically. And yeah, it started from those early YouTubers, and then Gary definitely was a good influence later on. Definitely structural wise, like the dude built a very structured big business, and that's respectable.
I love it. I love those kind of stories as well, where it's just kind of like you make it happen. You don't have anyone helping you or anything. Don't have kind of like a someone already in the industry. You just kind of just balls. They just force your way through in a sense.
Exactly.
And I guess we've all kind of got those videos, don't we? Where we're like 12, 13, we're doing these cringy little gaming videos. Hey guys, we're going to do another video on the channel. Oh, dear Lord. So I guess that's on to the next question. How did you turn the Jack Cole YouTube channel that you have now? How did you turn that into an asset for your business? So I know that you've been like sent a lot of like products and stuff for free, and you do reviews. How did you do about that? Like, how did you kind of reach out to those, or did they reach out to you?
The reality is, it seems on the outside like, oh wow, companies sending you free products, that's crazy. The reality is the company thinks you're doing them a favor, right? Like, on the outside looking in, it's like, wow, how did you get that company to do you a favor by sending you that free product? No, I'm doing you a favor by making a video around your stuff. So I tell people all the time, companies will send you literally anything. Like this chair was sent to me. This light up here was sent to me. And like almost my entire setup. There reached a point in my career where I just stopped buying equipment, because I would literally just have to reach out to a company and say, yo, I'll put you in a video if you send me this stuff. And
really?
Yeah, they'd send it to me. And the backbone of that is give a sample, right? So if you want, like anybody listen to this right now, if you want to get sent stuff for free, first off, you obviously have to have a platform that's worth sending you stuff for free, but you really only need a couple thousand views, a couple thousand subscribers, something where the company thinks they're going to get something. Make a video for free, reviewing something, review a microphone, review a headset, review a laptop, whatever. Take that, email 20 brands on Amazon, email 20 brands you want to get something from, and say, hey, look, this is my product review. I'd love to review one of your products. Please let me know if you have any demo units, or you have any review units. And likely a few of them are going to say yes, right? Some of them probably won't even answer, but some of them will say yes. And then it's a snowball effect. Once I had about 10, 20 different product reviews on the channel, every single week I have different companies in my email that are saying, yo, we've got this microphone, we've got this. And obviously they start off as kind of, lower tier products, but they build up to the point that people are sending you, products worth, hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Like I've been sent stuff that's worth 500 quid before, you know what I mean? Like big gimbals, big light setups, for example. People are paying hundreds of pounds for the ring light, they sent it to me for free. And it was just off the back of making some product reviews to start. And then they see like a sample essentially, right? And they're like, oh, cool, yeah, there you go. For them, it's a tax write-off. You have to understand. For them, if they send the product for free, they're saving tax on that. That's an expense right there, right? So they actually have an allocation of products that they want to send out to people. And if you can just, get in front of them, show them a demo of your stuff, like a sample product review, they're going to send you some stuff.
That's amazing. I'm going to nick that. I'm definitely going to nick that. I'm going to get after this. I'm going to be like, yo, so I can feature your thing for free. Yeah. Send me it. I'm definitely going to do that. I've never thought about that. That's genius. That. So I guess kind of like that kind of goes on to the next one. How did you get into like the nightclub scene? Because that's one you're one of the main reasons I got into the nightclub videography scene. I'm loving it. I was just binge watching your YouTube videos. So how did you go about getting like into the nightclub industry, specifically for videography?
All right, cool. So I mean, it happened in quite a funny way, to be honest, right? How do I even say this, to be honest, right? So I ran like a freestyle music video platform similar to like SBTV, similar to like GRM Daily, like early on, right? It was called TQ9 TV, right? That was the postcode of the area I grew up in, right? It was called TQ9 TV. And essentially we would just pop up on rappers all around the area. We film you a free video, we take it, we put it on our channel, right? If you want us to film a video for your channel, then you can pay us, but we'll shoot your video for free if we can put it on our platform. And we built up, you know, in the area, it was a very popping platform, right? We had thousands and thousands of followers on Facebook. We built up a very solid audience on YouTube, and it was a thing. If you're into rap around TQ9, around the postcode, even in Exeter, even in Plymouth, all these areas, you knew about TQ9, and we were probably one of three of the biggest sort of like rap channels around there, right? Now, when I say the biggest, we were small in comparison to anything in London or anything in anywhere else, right? But this is still around the time. This is still around the time where the only scene in the UK was London, right? This was before, like, you know, before other artists in Manchester, other artists all across the country started really breaking through. It was basically just a London scene, right? And then you know, some crazy stuff happened where, like, you know, Bugsy Malone went on that Fire in the Booth, and then a lot of stuff started changing after that, and other artists started getting included. But it really was just a London scene, so it was small in comparison to the rest of the country, but down there was popping. And through that, we made some good connections, and one of the connections essentially was a host of an event series called Rude HQ, right? So he'd book venues and you know, hire DJs and hire rappers, whatever, and put on events, right? Small events, 200, 300 people, whatever the case may be, maximum. Maybe it was a shit event. Maybe there's 50 people there. It could be a dead dance floor. Like, no, you know, I'm sure you filmed some little, you know.
Oh my God, I've been in the most kind of like, and not luxury, but some of the biggest venues in Manchester, London, and stuff like that. And I've been in the most sweaty beds in the underground. Oh my God, it is the grind, bro. It is the grind,
bro. So that's the first event I ever filmed. I was 17 years old when I filmed the first event. I had to get a fake ID to go into the club. And
that is some serious next level grinding, that.
Bro, exactly. I got the fake ID. I went in, it was a basement 45 in Bristol. So this guy who was running at Rude HQ, he picked me and my boy Noah up, who I was filming, you know, the TQ9 stuff with, and drove us up to Bristol. And we went to this sweat box of a venue, disgusting, sweaty venue. Everybody in there is on, you know, numerous
wired.
Yeah. They're all over the place. Exactly. Right. And, you know, it's definitely not a respectable venue, far from it. No, probably not a place, you know, you want to take any of your family members or anything like that.
Oh God, no! You don't even tell them about it. Oh, what did you do on the weekend? I just went and had a meal with a couple of friends. I didn't go to that place.
Fully, bro. It's a rave. So I filmed that at 17 years old, and then filmed that for free, just literally off the strength of just the relationship that I had with that person, and you know, just the fact that I hadn't really done this before. So I came along for free. Obviously, took care of my whole night, right? Took care of my stay and all that. And I filmed the first video, and then we realized, okay, cool. Let's try and start charging for this stuff. So we started sending messages around, sending that individual promo around across Facebook, and we started building ourselves up. I think the first paid gig that I got was for like 30 quid, literally 30 quid after that. So I'm 17, 30 quid. I'm like, I really don't know the value of these services. I'm like, cool, yeah, give me 30 quid. I'll come to your event. I'm still kind of in a party phase of my life. So in my mind, it was kind of funny that like they'd pay me to go to a club instead of like everybody else paid to go to the club. So I was still in that kind of phase where I thought it was just cool to just be there for free or be getting drinks for free, whatever. Started filming stuff. And then over the course of that year, I think I turned 18, started filming more clubs. And then I think that first year I filmed about 30 clubs that year. And I think we went from like 30-pound booking that we did at the start of the year to like 300-pound bookings at the end of the year. So, you know, we 10x the booking fee. By the time I'm 19, we're getting about 300 pounds a club. And then we start tapping in with like London clubs, right? So I think I got on the phone to one guy hosting an event in London, and he was like, yeah, come up here and film my event. And we'd only been filming stuff in the Southwest. Remember, like the you know, London to me then, I didn't live in London. Now I live in London. I'm in London right now. But to then I was like, oh, London, wow, holy shit, like that's really where it's happening. You know, that's where the big stuff's going on. So we came there, filmed that event. The event was a flop. Like it was an actual flop. No one turned up. There's about 13 people on the dance floor. We were thinking it was some big thing. And the guy, like they had trouble paying us, right? They had trouble paying us after that. But there was one guy who just like out of the team was like, no, you're gonna get paid, don't worry, like you're gonna get paid. And he actually ended up paying me out of his pocket because they lost money on that event. So everyone else was like, fuck, like we got no money to pay you. He was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna pay you. He ended up going on and getting hired as a graphic designer at one of the biggest clubs in the entire city, Cirque du Soir, right? Like one of the most prestigious clubs in all of London. And I did some free work with him when he was there to help solidify his position. It was one of them things where he was like, oh, like they've asked me to edit a video, but like I told them I could do it, but like I can't really do it. Can you do it for free? And I'll hook you up with something in the future. And, you know, that's one of them ones where it's like, you do me a favor, then I'll owe you one type situation. And he was in a good enough position that I was like, if I do this favor for him, odds are something will come of it. So fuck it, I'm going to do you the free edit. And then, and did that. And then 2 months later, Future was booked at that club. And obviously he was in the club to say like, they were like, who should we get to film Future? Blah, blah, blah. We need a videographer. And he said, I've got the videographer. This is the guy. And he plugged me in with the first like real big booking in London, which was filming Future, I think in like 2019, something like that. And that was epic. Like it was just a different vibe. Like I'd been shooting in, like you said, them shitty little 50-person venues with like nobody around, the dirtiest drum and bass blowing your ears off. I used to
oh my God, my ears, man.
Bro, do you have earplugs to this day?
Yeah, I recently discovered earplugs. I didn't take them. Oh my God.
Crucial, bro. Like crucial. So I'd be in a venue with the earplugs, and then boom, all of a sudden now I'm booked for the Future. Someone that, you know, is more along the lines of like the actual music that I listen to. I'm not like the biggest drum and bass head or anything. So like boom, now I'm filming some stuff that is a little bit more along my lane, and I don't have to wear earplugs. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm not even wearing it. I'm filming. I don't like. I actually enjoy this music. It's actually kind of enjoyable to be here. Not just collected a check and, you know, the novelty of being in the club. And then since then, bro, like that connection has just led to you know, a few other connections, and you know, really just that one connection has been the tipping point of getting me into the more higher tier stuff. And then obviously since then I've filmed Future, ASAP Ferg, Nelly, Fat Joe, Tyga, so many people, right? And it's really off the back of that connection. That's why I really tell people, like, you know, it's such an old saying, but it's like, it's all about who you know. It really is. And
honestly, I say that as well.
Bro,
it really is.
It's making those connections. It's making those connections and getting those relationships that is the most important thing. Like, it's really like there's so many more talented videographers than me that have done so much less than me because they just simply haven't been able to make relationships that are substantial with the right people, prove your value to people as well, right? The reason that guy was able to do so much for me and get me Future and all these other big rappers is because, you know, originally he phoned my phone one day and needed something, and you know, I did it for him for free and established that rapport or whatever, and obviously did that man a favor, and then, you know, you set yourself up for good things, right? So network is, you know, in every aspect of life, I think it's just one of the most important possible things that you can have on your side is a strong circle and a strong network of people in position that can lend themselves to you in a helpful way. And then obviously you know, need to lend yourself to them in a positive way, right? Just like I was able to do.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people listening to this can probably relate to that because I'm always banging on about that. Like, I'm at university. Like, the only reason I'm at uni is for the money. So, like, all my costs, you know, student loan. I could care less about university if I'm being honest. Mum and dad, if you watch this, I don't mean it, but in all seriousness, like, everyone's like surrounding me. I always tell them, you know, start something because your degree don't mean shit, man. I'm just gonna say it doesn't mean anything nowadays.
Don't mean nothing, bro. Don't mean nothing. Like a degree, bro. You know, a degree, how do I even put this right? A degree is going through inflation. You know how they got the inflation rates going crazy because of Corona? They're printing all this money. Biden's losing his mind and just happen print. The degree has gone through heavy inflation. The degree used to be something that was somewhat prestigious. I don't remember when, right back in the day. Everybody's got a degree these days, right? So you know what the sad part is? You get the degree and then you're going for the job, and you know what they want to hire you? Experience. So this is the saddest part. People are really getting the degree to then go interview for the job and get the job stolen from them by someone with more experience, someone who didn't get the degree, or who did get the degree, but at the same time hustled hard and built up a heavy experience level. I'm telling you right now, With the experience that I have, with the track record I have, if I walked into a filmmaking job, I would take that job from anybody who has a degree. I simply would, because I'd be able to show, all right, over the course of the past 5 years, I built a successful videography business. I built a successful video editing business. I built a massive YouTube channel. And they'd just look at that and they'd say, cool, experience, great, you're on the team. Someone else could have come out with the A's in everything, A's in every creative possible degree you've got. And I'd simply stand out more. And I'm only using myself as an example, not to pick myself up, just to drive the point home that they want experience. Like, that's what they want. And I think people who are getting a degree, if you are getting a degree, you should look to get some experience as well, right? Because they want to know that they're not training you up from day one, right? Like, school teaches you the theory, right? The theory, but it doesn't teach you the practical, right? You know, you got the practical exam and the theory exam. Real life is the practical exam. Real life is the practical exam of you know, doing the thing that you say you do. And that's what they value more. The experience is simply.
It honestly is. It's like, how do you get experience without, you know, with the grades as well? But then it's just, I just tell people, it's like, do that. But I mean, people look around, are like, people like, whoa, Jack, how you doing all this all sort of stuff? And I'm like, well, I didn't pull it out my ass one day. I've fucking worked like for the past 3 years eating shit, and now I'm here. But yeah, it really is. People have just got to wake up, man. It breaks my heart, but it also doesn't at the same time. It's less competition, but it's also like, oh, you know, you need to get fucking shit together.
The reality that I'll just touch on that point before we move on, right? The reality is, bro, if you have to ask how you get the experience, you probably aren't necessarily positioned to reap the reward, because it's obvious what you have to do. Just do it, right? Like, just literally do it. So what I mean by that is, you should be naturally interested enough that you are seeking out some sort of opportunity, right? Like, again, the first club that I filmed that shit for free. Like, I didn't get paid for that, right? And then after that, I would get paid 30, then 50, then 70, then, you know what I mean? Splitting that in half sometimes. Me and my boy would go film it, or you know what I mean? It was 70 quid. Like, yo, I'll give you 30 if you come, and you know what I mean? Right? So you've got to naturally be willing to put that legwork in, because you have to put the legwork in up front. And then naturally, it's called the natural progression. If you keep doing something for long enough, you're going to naturally get to something bigger. And it's going to develop. So
honestly is.
That's right.
So I guess on to the next one. I know you've touched on it before, but have you ever not been paid apart from that one time? Have you ever like taken anyone to like small claims or anything?
No.
I've really?
I've been fortunate enough not to take small claims court. I was always, so there was that one time. Obviously, like, I did end up getting paid by that, but I suppose. I guess you have to think about the quality of the client that you're working for, I suppose, right? So I don't have firsthand experience, so I can only hypothesize here. But I'd imagine if you didn't get paid for something, there might have been writing on the wall. Just, you know what I mean? Potentially, right? Of like, okay, this guy or this girl might not necessarily be the most legitimate. Have you had to take someone to small claims court?
No, I haven't. But I've had someone, I guess, kind of like a couple of months ago, not pay me. And it wasn't my fault. They weren't like the most quality of clients. It was kind of like, it wasn't like a proper sweaty underground club, but it was kind of like, you know, that kind of like environment. And then I just received an email. Like, they literally said, we like the pictures. Once we receive the money back from the, you know, the event and stuff, you're going to get paid. And then I received another email like 2 days later. Jack, I forwarded this to the top, you know, the top guy. He doesn't like it. I was like, but you literally asked for that, and I gave you it. And I was like, we're not going to pay for the pictures. I'm like, hang on. You don't pay for the pictures. You pay for me. So go, give up my time, go to the venue, take the pictures, edit the pictures. You don't just pay for the pictures. And I was like, but I ended up not taking them to the small claims because it was only like 40 quid for an hour. So it wasn't really worth my time.
Nah, it's not. Pay more in lower fees. I suppose they didn't end up using the pictures then, did they?
Nah, he had my watermarks plastered all over it. We down if they're going to use my pictures.
Well, there you go. That was good, because I was going to say, obviously you have to have the watermark on the pics to make sure that if they do decide to pull any trickery like that, I'm not too sure on that situation. Yeah, that's just the trick for sure. I think I actually did have something like that. I think I filmed a shitty New Year's event, and I'm pretty sure again they were like, no, I think I had a similar situation to that. I did get not paid. I think earlier on, I think I filmed someone's event, and they were just like, this just is fucking just not what we wanted. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I've just spent fucking days on this shit. Like it was
Yeah.
earlier on. It was early. So might not have been the most quality piece in the entire world, but it was still, still a respectable show. And I think they were just like that. They were like, nah, like we just don't like this. We're just not going to pay. And that's a tricky one because like what I do to protect against that is take a down payment. So I think I never didn't take a down payment after that because I was like, okay, cool. Like it's subjective, right? The creative is subjective. If one guy says he doesn't like it, another person's going to say they do like it. Creative work is subjective. Obviously,
100%.
To protect against that, I'd take definitely a down payment. So, okay, cool. I'm going to come film your event. I need 20% up front.
Yeah. Do you have contracts at all, or did you just take a deposit and then that's it, or what?
Deposit. So I never did contracts just for the, did I ever do a contract? I might've done like a couple contracts, very small tier stuff. So like, I think there was projects I did for like a few thousand where it was like 2-3K and the client wanted to introduce a contract to ensure that I fulfilled my end of the agreement because they were paying me $2,000 for the job, right? So I think unless you're doing stuff for, higher tier work, right? Or mid-tier work, a couple K for a job, contract isn't the most important because it's a relatively menial amount of money. If you're shooting a club for 250 quid, right? Locking in a contract, it's like, you're never going to sue someone for 250. The lawyer is going to cost 350, right? So as you know what I mean? It doesn't.
Yeah.
The contract is pointless for smaller work because if you ever did try and take legal action based on that contract that they didn't fulfill, it's a waste of your fucking time, anyways. So I have signed contracts because the client wanted to for stuff that was over like 2K for a job, right? And that was a job that was going to be multiple videos. But for lower tier stuff and for stuff that's under $1,000, it's probably not worth it just because it's sort of like it doesn't.
It's not really worth it. It's not, the money's not there.
Yeah, it's more like almost just a subconscious thing. I signed a contract, but it's like they can never, you can never take someone to court on something like that unless you're willing to spend shitloads of money to prove a point, right?
And even if you lose, you've got to pay for I think you've got to pay for their legal stuff. And there's like, only if you know 100% that you're going to win. Like
no one wants that. No one wants that. And that's even more stressing to your life than it's likely worth. Like if someone decides to fuck you over 200 quid, you're probably better to just be like, okay, what are the signs? Let's apply that to what I do next, but I'm not going to go take him to court.
Yeah. I guess I mean, you've touched on it a little bit, but how did you transition from those cheap, like underground basement people, like those clients to the proper, high gigs and making it sustainable as well? Because like I've had a couple of like really, really, really big gigs, but it's been like the one-off. So I'm trying to make that consistent,
Yeah. Connections. That definitely was connections that played a huge part for me for sure. Also just naturally portraying that there's more demand. So I remember I was able to upsell clients. I think I started filming one event. I think it was called Casa. It's called Casa. It was down in Plymouth, right? And I think we started filming them for I think 150 quid a video, and then we actually just did bigger stuff. So then started doing some London stuff, and then I think I ended up just telling them one day like they wanted me again. They came back, hey, we want another video, and it was like, okay, cool. So instead of 150, it's 250 now. And naturally, you've proven your worth. They know it's a quality piece of content. Also, maybe they follow the socials and they can see we've been doing some higher profile stuff. We've leveled up a bit. They say, okay, cool. Naturally, like your rates have increased. Okay, cool. No problem. Right. So you could do that. Also, on top of that, you could maybe introduce some sort of upsell, right? So for example, I know some things people would do. Okay, cool. I'm going to shoot your promo video for 200 quid, right? I'm going to come shoot your club for 200 quid. But also if you want some, a bunch of vertical stuff for stories, right? I could do, 20, I could do 20 vertical clips for an extra 50 or whatever, right? Or some sort of add-on, right? That's simple on your end, right? You just gotta,
it's just simple. Yeah, they don't know that. Keep that out of the.
No, exactly, precisely. So you say, or if you're a cameraman, you say, okay, cool, I give you the pictures, but we get the proper solid Lightroom edits for an add-on or whatever, right? You can get creative with that kind of stuff. I know early on, I think we tried to do something around like 4K, whereas like we do one video for this price, but then we'll do the 4K plus like a teaser for this price. Little things like that can help increase your rates. Also, I suppose you need to try and leverage the current stuff you've done, right? So when I was at like the lower end of filming clubs, we really tried to make the videos amazing, even though we weren't getting paid, as much as we probably, could have been for that level of quality. And it was a relatively shitty event. We still proved our value in the quality, and then, just continued to reach out at scale. The trick for me was just reaching out to shitloads of people, like just being shameless with it, like reaching out for a third time, reaching out, just continuously.
Oh my God, bro. Like there's this one club that I really want to film in Manchester. And I probably reached out to them probably like 7 times. And like, they're like, oh my God, another DM from Jack. Get out of here, bro. I'm going to block you. Fuck off.
Very sure. But, I mean, the way I see it, I see that in 2 ways. Like, one, so what if they're annoyed? That doesn't change my day. And then they might just say yes, right? So persistence definitely furthers. And I think you're going to get more out of trying than you're not, right? For sure. Like, you just simply are, right? So I think that's definitely an admirable skill for sure, is just to continually reach out. Obviously, don't message them every 30 minutes, right? That might piss some people off. But definitely, being persistent is something that's important. I mean, I've seen stories of people who ended up, 5 years later landing big advertising gigs and big creative gigs who they were really gunning for that spot for many years, right? And that's what it takes sometimes, that persistence.
Yeah, it is. Have you ever wanted to get into photography? Because I know you've been doing a lot of videos. Did you ever want to do kind of like the photography side of it as well?
So I've done a bit of photography, and I do definitely enjoy it. But the video stuff is just more, it's just more my passion. So I really fell in love with video from a very young age. Like, again, because I really didn't have much technology, right? So I fell in love with the idea of like visual effects, and I would watch. Do you remember a guy called Baker Tutts? Baker Tutts. Early days. This guy might have been like one of the first guys on YouTube doing video editing tutorials, like legitimately one of the first guys, one of the first ever guys. Because my interest in video editing and videography as a result came through my interest in just making cool edits on Call of Duty. Straight up, like I would record Call of Duty and I want to make a sick edit, and I'd be watching Baker Tutts, right? Shout out to anybody who's listening to this podcast that knows about Baker Tutts. OG. Before there was people like me, before there was anybody doing tutorials, it was Baker Tutts and like maybe 2-3 other guys. And it was never photography that got me interested in the creative world. It was video editing, right? So that's why the video stuff always appealed more to me. And photography is cool, and 100%. Like I literally love Lightroom. Like I love getting some nice pics and throwing them in Lightroom and just taking some shitty flat image and turning it into some crazy thing. But again, that's more along the lines of like interest in editing, and then I really just filmed some shit so I could edit it. Like I think, like I really say this, I'm a pretty shit videographer. Like I'm really like, I'm okay as a videographer. My trick there is to film a lot. If you film a lot, there's always some good shit in there.
Oh, so that's what I do, bro. Like I'm not the best in the world. Like there's obviously guys better than me, but I just like every single angle. Like 500 clips. Like there's nothing worse, because I've been there. There's nothing worse than getting into the editing suite and sitting down and looking at you. All right, I need to produce a 1-minute video. Fuck, I've only got enough content for like 40 seconds. Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's nothing worse than that, man. There's nothing worse than that. Bro.
Trust me. So that's what I'd say. Like I'm really a mid-tier videographer. But I'm a really good editor. Like because I just practiced my craft over years, right? So I can take a pretty mediocre shot or I could just shoot loads. Like I'll come back with like 300, 400, 500 clips, and then I'll spend the day going through that, and I'll have maybe like 80 bangers, right? Just bangers. Like it might be like a 4-second clip, but like the first second is fire, or like the last 5 seconds I'm just like, yo, chop that out, in point, out point, cool, boom. And you just like, if people really, that's why I was always hesitant to send a club footage. Like I always made sure that like if I filmed it, I'd have to be the one editing it. Because I knew, like, 100%. Like, I've never to this day given footage to another club. I made sure that if I'm hired to film it, I have to edit it as well. Because I really just don't know what the fuck another editor would do in my clips. I think,
bro, that's one thing. That's the question that I've got. What do you do about raw footage? Because this is a big thing from the people I've like interviewed. They don't want to give out raw footage, and I'm with them. But it's like, they don't want to pay like it's once you've gone, it's gone. You can't earn any more money from that. It's like, how do you go about pricing that and kind of like just giving out your footage, I guess? So because they can do anything with it.
100%. And bro, like I still like I follow the club, right? Like the clubs I film for, you know, a certain SWAT stuff like that. To this day, bro, my footage is on their stories all the time, like all the fucking time, right? And they, I didn't charge them anything extra for that content, right? Because well, they're just chopping it out of the original video that I put on, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different actually, if I think about it. But do you mean you've given them a promo video and they also want the raw footage?
Yeah. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That should definitely be, that can be an add-on. Again, it depends on the client, right? If it's like an individual, right? So if I filmed a rapper, for example, and they're like, yo, can I get some like raw footage as well? Like just for some behind the scenes or whatever. Yeah, no worries, bro. Like here you go. But if it's a business or if it's a company, right? That can definitely be part of, you know, your clips package or whatever the case may be. So, yo, I'm going to have one promo video for you for this price. And then I'll give you a bunch of raw footage for this price, or I'll chop out the best bits for this price, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
That can definitely be part of like an upsell.
Yeah, don't tell any of my clients or anything, but when they say give me all the raw footage, I'm like, yeah, this price, but I don't give them all the raw footage. I just give them, you know, the best ones. Like what I do is I get it all in Premiere Pro. I cut it all down to like, I don't say the best 80 clips.
Exactly.
I give them the 80 clips. Like, no, you are not seeing the absolute shit.
Oh no. They're never gonna get this shit though. Exactly. That's why
No.
I throw it in and I'll do ins and outs, right? So ins and outs, boom. I get all the nicest parts and then I'll turn it over to them because again, like they don't know what to do with my footage. I know what to do with my footage. If I load up my footage and the first 75% of the clip is shit, I keep watching because I know there's gonna be like a little bit this fire, right? And that's a very ghetto way to do it, to be honest, right? There's a lot of people that like some of my boys, top tier videographers, right? And like they'll turn up and they'll just shoot it properly, right? Like all their footage is crispy, it's fire. I'll describe myself from the start. I'm just super ghetto with it. I turn up, film shitloads of stuff, and you know, 75% of it or like 60% of it's kind of like, you know, shaky or garbage or whatever. But then that I can make a gem out of that remaining 40% or that remaining 20%, whatever the case may be.
Bro, I'm completely the same. Like I just turn up with my gears, like right, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I'm starting to, you know, storyboard and my video is getting a lot better because of that. But when I was starting out, I just turned right. I don't even know what music I'm gonna use. I shoot. I just shot the night, bro. That was the best though. It was like you know, you just shoot with no idea what you're gonna make out of it, but that's just the best feeling, I guess.
That's why it's the funnest, bro. That's when it's the funnest, and you just know you got to shoot a little bit of everything. All right, shoot a little bit of the logo, shoot a little bit of this, and then in the edit room you just craft everything, and it's sweet. I think that's the funnest way to do it, mate, for sure.
Honestly, it is. Like when a client comes to me and says, you know, you have full creativity, like I'm like, I love you already. Let's go.
Exactly, and that's exactly the point.
So I know that you've changed industries recently. You know, it's kind of like slowed down on the video side. What kind of like got you into that? Where you kind of like got bored of it or something? You've been doing it for so long,
So I mean, yeah, you have to understand, like when I do something, I do it fully, right? I'm not really a half in, half out kind of guy, right? Like with YouTube, I've become a little bit half in, half out because I want to sustain the platform while I'm doing other businesses. But with videography, like when I was doing video editing, and videography is my full-time hustle, it was nonstop. I uploaded, you know, how-to videos every single day to YouTube. Every single day for 365 days, I uploaded a video every single fucking day. I filmed the club almost every single weekend that year. Throughout the week, I edited, you know, videos for clients every single day, and there was no room for anything else. This is what I was doing. I was squeezing it, and naturally, you do that for 4 years straight. You know, so boom, I'm 4 years in. I'm 23 right now. 4 or 5 years really, but probably 18, 19. I'd say 19 was when I really got my groove and started going nonstop, right? So let's say that's 4 years, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, whatever, right? So I've been in this for 4 years nonstop, and you naturally just get a little bit, I don't even know, burnt out, but just to the point where you're like, you know what? Okay, cool. It's time to find some new energy here. It's time to go on a little bit of a shift. And naturally I was getting into the cryptocurrency stuff. And that just sort of hooked me, right? Because originally I was investing in crypto projects, right? I was investing in crypto projects. That was cool. But I really found my groove when I started lending my creative services to projects, right? So essentially I kind of transitioned clients to the point that instead of me offering my creative services to, you know, video editors, videographer, my video editing and videography services to businesses in the real world, I started lending those services to crypto projects essentially, right? So I work with crypto teams. Yeah, I work with crypto
Wow.
teams. We do creative services, right? So promo videos, websites, graphics,
Yeah.
everything they need to create branding for projects. I help them out with influencer deals as well. I've worked with, I as an influencer have crafted so many influencer deals off the back of companies coming to me. So, it's relatively simple to lend that knowledge to projects and help them get, influencer deals and stuff like that. So the position that I'm in right now is I just help crypto projects with marketing and creative services, right? And I've worked with many teams over the course of the past year. Some crazy ones, some more degenerate ones, some more professional ones. And it's a super fun space to me because I think that all the creative services that I did really prepared me to be able to help a crypto project with top tier branding, like, next level. A
Mm.
lot of the stuff in the crypto scene is more underdeveloped, but also
Mm.
I've realized that because there's so much money in crypto for the same services that I was offering traditional clients in the real world, right, so to speak, you can
Yeah.
get paid 10x the amount in crypto. I've literally
That's
paid,
honestly where the money is, bro.
I've been paid $4,000 for a single hour of work in cryptocurrency for 1 hour. 1 hour of creative services in crypto. I've been paid $4,000. That is the highest hour that I've been paid. There's definitely like
Hmm.
the average rate is not necessarily that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
certainly it is very, very, very profitable to do creative services and to offer those creative services to projects in the crypto industry, just based on how much money changes hands, right? And how
Mm.
desensitized people are to money. Because like if you do something for somebody and they're like, okay, cool, you've done you've built me a website, or you've built me some graphics, or you've made me a promo video, cool, I'll throw you an ETH. It's like, to them it's like one ETH, but you realize like that's $3,000 right there, bro. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
people are desensitized though, because like a lot
Yeah.
of these crypto projects, they've got multi-million-dollar treasuries, right? Like
Oh my God.
they
Yeah.
raise shitloads of money. So I'm talking about like the project that paid me $4,000 for literally an hour of work to do some very basic level creative stuff for them. I think that week they'd made over $1 million in trading fees of
Oh,
their coin,
fucking
right?
hell, bro. Yeah.
So if you think about it, right, they're like, you know what? We need some stuff done, right? We need some. It was some graphic design work. They're like, we need some graphic design work. We need it done today. Cool. I'll give you an ETH if you can do it, right? I'll give you an ETH.
Yeah.
Sweet. An ETH was $4,000 back then in November or whatever, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Done it for an hour. Sent it to them. There was like one small revision. That was another 20 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes. They send me $4,000. You know, and
Yeah.
a traditional client, they're not
They're not.
desensitized. A traditional client is working a real business. They're really
Yeah.
they're worried about the bottom line. In crypto, they made $1 million this week for what they probably perceive as nothing. They're like, we've been running our project, we made $1 million this week. Cool. You
Yeah.
can have $4,000 for creative services because they need it quick, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually working on a video for the channel of what I believe is the biggest opportunity in crypto for creative people without ever even
Mm.
investing in it. How creative people, right, can make shitloads of money off the creative industry without ever
Bro.
investing in a crypto project. And I'm working on that video.
Bro, you're gonna make me go into the fucking crypto world now, because I've kind of like been dabbling in like NFTs and stuff,
Yeah.
like selling my videos and photos as NFTs, and I've kind of like just been watching it, and like especially with you now, like being paid like fucking 4,000 for like 1 hour, fucking hell, I'm gonna get into that shit, like bloody hell. But what was the kind of like the start of your journey in the crypto world? Like how did you transition? Like did someone come to you, or?
It happened through videography. So
Yeah.
in the winter time of 2020, right? So we're talking about December time, November time of
Yeah.
not the December that just went, the one previously, 2020.
Yeah.
I was filming a music game show. It was a race against the clock game show in a studio called the Blue Studios, right, in London. And they wanted to put together a show where you get a random producer and a random MC, and you put them in a room and you just say, boom, you've got an hour, race against the clock. You need to make the best song you can possibly make in 1 hour, go. And I was filming that. It was meant to be a fun music game show. So I filmed that. We made an amazing pilot, an amazing first episode. And we were all celebrating in the Blue Studios, watching the pilot. It was all edited. Everyone was having fun, having a drink and just celebrating that, like, yo, we've done a great first episode and talking about making more, whatever the case may be. One of the guys there had just made shitloads of money overnight on a coin called Base Protocol. And he was talking to me. He was like, yo, like this shit right now, I just turned whatever to whatever. I can't remember the exact amount. It was something good though. It was something like I turned $400 to 4K last night on this coin called Base. And I was like, oh shit, what? Like fucking sweet. Like I'm not really in crypto, bro, but like tell me like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he sat down, opened the laptop up, and he was like, this is the coin. This is how I made the money. And you know, I was like, fuck it, bro. Like I'll put some dough, and I put 300 quid in. I was like, fuck it. I'll set up a wallet. I'll put a little bit of money in, something I can afford to just kind of put in there. I woke up the next morning, it was 1,500 quid. 300 quid in. I woke up the next morning, it was 1,500 quid. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, again, I've never been in much crypto, right? Like I did own some crypto passively, like months and months and months before that, but it was never like on this level. It was more just set it and forget it. And I was like, yo, shit, what the fuck? Like that's crazy. Like I got 1,500 quid. I put in 300 quid. The next day it went to fucking zero, right? The next day it went to zero. So like day one, I invest in it in the studio. Day two, I wake up and I'm like, yo, I fucking made 1,500 quid last night. I should have put in more. Like it's fucking lit. The next day it's worth zero. And I was like, all right, something happened there. Like I know I've just lost the money, but something happened there. Like this crypto shit, this is like a glitch in the matrix. Like money can be made here for sure. And it's just proved to me that like there was something going on here, and I should really just not be ignorant, and I should put a lot of time into it. And I realized that if I can make some dough off this random guy in the studio's shill to me, right? If I probably put a bit more time in and researched it properly, I could find a more sustainable way to do this. And really, I just got a very quick win that showed me that like, okay, this is real. Like, even though it went to zero, I was like, cool, I can find something else and I can make some money off of it. And then I just got super fucking invested. Like I just was researching stuff. I found influencers to listen to, which by the way, to anybody listening, is far and few in between. You got to make sure you tune into the right voices, not every voice, right? But I just started listening to so many different people, watching podcasts, just naturally educating myself on the space. And then was investing for a while, and naturally it turned into what it is. And then I realized that, you know, there's a whole sort of underground scene of people building projects, and, you know, I could get involved in those teams and lend my expertise that I learned from building a YouTube channel, from marketing a YouTube channel, from marketing my creative services. And then I could really just transition those skills straight into just a far more profitable industry. And then, you know, here I am about 18 months later, and you know, it's been extremely profitable.
Yeah. Wow. Because I can imagine as well, there's not a lot of kind of like creative kind of like video people in that space right now. Like there might be in a couple, I don't know, maybe year or so or something. But right now, I guess it's kind of like there's a gap, isn't there? Like the people are starting to switch on to like the whole Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain stuff. But I guess it's kind of like a good opportunity in a way that it's turning a lot of people away as well. Because I've been obviously, you know, I've been watching it for a long time. I've been watching the stuff with, I think it's Luna, like that whole kind of like.
I don't even want to hear about Luna. I lost a holy amount of money. I had money in UST, right? So you've seen the whole Luna UST situation, right?
Yeah.
UST was their stable coin. Oh, I had unholy amount of money in Luna. I'm hurt from not from Luna. I had money in their ecosystem in UST.
Yeah.
I was staking it, getting some juicy interest on it. I'm down hefty 5 figures in the past week from fucking Luna. It's
I know
fresh.
it's
fresh. Woo, it's fresh.
High stakes, high reward type stuff, isn't it? It's, you know, you can get really big, but then it's
100%. You got to be. They always say, man, like it's just such a meme in crypto now. But you know, you don't invest more than you can lose. And you know, I'm in a gifted position where I can afford to lose those. You know, that money. Obviously, like it's the worst when you start thinking of what you could have bought with that money. That's the worst. Like you just got to stop yourself there. And I'm like, yo, I could have bought the car. I could have bought this. But you know, like you never invest everything into one ecosystem. And you know, although I was hit annoyingly. I was hit in a sore place, but you know, we keep it moving. Exactly. But there's a lot of people affected by that situation in a very brutal way. Like there's a lot of, I think there's something like it's a really deep situation. I think there's something like 25 confirmed suicides because of that situation. You know, to take it to more of a deep level, people getting into crypto, you do have to understand what you're getting into, right? This is a place that really, that was a top 7 cryptocurrency that literally went to zero overnight. So there are significant risks for getting into this place, and you have to make sure that you know, you tune into the right information, and also on top of that, that you know, your risk management strategy is is solid and you're not putting everything, into something. And also
Yeah.
a lot of people loans, man. A lot of people take loans against this stuff.
Oh my God. No, 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 no. Oh, shit. You
It's
know, you
scary.
don't just lose all your money. You fucking owe the tax man and the fucking bank.
You owe the tax man, you owe the bank. And like, those are the heartbreaking stories. That's why, like, I
Yeah.
can lose hefty 5 figures, laugh it off and be like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna go make some more. But the person who woke up with the bailiffs at the door, or whatever, or the debt collectors, or the bank's messaging saying, got to pay back that $100,000 loan, or whatever the case may be. Like, that's a brutal situation. So that's it's an amazing industry, and it's also a place that can leave you in a very bad state if you are not careful about the way that you conduct yourself.
I guess kind of like moving it onto, not back onto videography, but have you ever kind of like, in terms of content creation, have you ever, apart from YouTube, where else do you put your work? Because I'm starting to mess around with TikTok as well. Have you ever messed around with TikTok or anything like that? Because I know that's kind of like the kind of like cryptocurrency of the video world, I guess. Volatile, like my views go up, down, up, down, up,
100%.
and then you just drown down. Like, it's hilarious.
100%. It's something that I'm going to be putting more work into now. It's something that I should have gotten into a little bit earlier, but I was a little bit short-sighted. And also, I was doing too much. There's something that to this day now, I like to leave a little bit more room for, spontaneity, basically, right? A little bit less like packing every single hour in. Like when TikTok really came out, I was properly positioned to capitalize fully. I had shitloads of content. I was listening to people like Gary Vee who were saying, like, move on TikTok, get on it. But simply just didn't have any time. Like every single day I uploaded a YouTube video. Every single day I was editing for clients. Every single weekend I was filming clubs. And I just didn't have capacity to introduce a new full-time, grind in terms of churning out that content. Now I'm in a little bit of a different position where I've seen TikTok, even recently in the past week, blow people up, like get to crazy
honestly
level. It's mental, and it could be such it could be such a rocket behind whatever you're doing. It can really propel it to be in front of so many eyes. Like I've seen a specific marketer that I follow, I think like 5-10x his info product subscriptions just off the back of TikTok within the past like couple weeks. It's crazy.
Fucking hell, man. It really is crazy, isn't it? Like, you can just overnight.
But I think that goes back to the strategy of, like, you have to be properly positioned to do TikTok, right? Getting your phone out and making a new custom TikTok every single day, or 3 a day or whatever, it is a little bit, long-winded. But if you follow the formula of producing shitloads of long form content, right? So we're doing a podcast right now. We've covered many different topics. This could make 30 TikToks, right? And if we chop it up, it probably, right?
Yeah.
And you make shitloads of long form content. You're constantly making long form content. Then you chop it up into short little bite-sized pieces and you flood TikTok with it. And that's the model that I think is the most replicatable, right? Unless you want to be doing the dances. I don't know. Do you want to do the dance?
No. I don't want to be like Charlie D'Amelio type shit. No.
Exactly.
No.
You could do the dance. You could do the songs, or you could, do long form content talking about real world things that you're knowledgeable about. And chop that into bite-sized pieces and shove it all over TikTok and position yourself as a key thought leader, or a key opinion leader, whatever the case may be in your industry. And I think, this podcast right here, the YouTube videos that I've been putting out, definitely I'm going to be chopping this stuff up and likely putting it on TikTok, because it's a place for attention, right? It's a place that you can capitalize on attention and capture attention, and then that attention can then be pushed straight back into your business or your funnel, whatever the case may be, in the form of viewers on your channel, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Don't worry. I mean, there's a guy that I follow on TikTok. He's a DJ based out in Miami, Florida. And he's literally like, he was a nobody, bro. Like, he was just doing these like little remixes, and he got on, he was like doing these little gigs here and there. But he had a consistent client, like a beach, like a pool party. He was DJing for that. Yeah. And he literally whipped out his phone and he's filming these people, and he's got a little series on TikTok that's like literally blown up, like probably like 10 million views, bro, combined. And it's like different types of clubbers in the club. So he's blown up. He's got record there. He's going to fucking he's fucking going everywhere, bro, off TikTok. And I'm like, hang on, I can fucking copy that, because I'm in the club basically nearly like once every weekend or every 2 weekends. Why am I not doing this? So I've kind of like helped onto that. But honestly, bro, TikTok is mad. Like,
No,
it's
I
crazy.
love that. There's one thing you just said right there, which is literally the foundation of how I've been able to do so much stuff. Is you saw something that worked, and you're like, you know what, I could do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really it. In this day and age, everything's been done, people. You're not going to sit there and think of some revolutionary new idea. You might, right? But
Yeah.
honestly, it's far and few in between. The more replicatable situation is, see, okay, cool. What's doing well? You notice something that's doing well. You're like, I'm properly positioned to do that as well. And you take that inspiration and then reinvent upon it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really it. See something that's working, take it and reimagine it in your own way, right? That applies to even so many things, right? Video games these days, there's no brand new video game. It all follows the same, a format that's happened before, right? Call of Duty comes out with Warzone. Warzone's Fortnite, right? Fortnite came out with Apex Legends comes out. That's Fortnite as well, right? You know what I mean? Like people will take a concept that's working and reimagine it in a new way. And that's been a pillar of my YouTube content from the start. Even the gaming videos, I saw people who were blowing up doing trolling videos. I was like, I can do that in my own way. I saw people who were blowing up doing tutorials. I said, I can do that in my own way. And definitely that's the way you guys should be doing. You see something that's clearly got a proven track record of success, and then reimagine it in your own way.
Yeah. So just taking other people's, piggybacking off their hard work and, just crafting it to be your own. Like, I think too many people get out. Honestly, bro.
Your own. Make sure you make it your own. Exactly. Because if you're doing an impression, it ain't gonna go. It's not gonna do too well, right? If you're doing an impression,
it honestly is. Yeah.
For sure. But if you've seen a proven model and you say, okay, cool, I can take the essence of that and then reimagine it in my own unique way that's gonna feel new.
Yeah.
Then it's worked. It's worked for me very well, for sure.
Yeah, because I've been doing these podcasts for probably about a month now, and there's like everyone's trying to kind of break out, or they've already broken out, or take it to the next level by kind of like just bringing something from scratch. Like that is just not how you do it. I mean, you can do that, but there's already people who've done it and then they've just made it their own. Like, I think that's probably the most easiest way you can do it.
100%. That's what I've done time and time again. Like almost every content that I've created has originated from inspiration from someone already doing a similar type of content, and then me seeing that, being inspired by that, and thinking, okay, cool, I'm in a position to do something similar, but then making it unique as well, making it my own. That's the important part.
Right, on to the next question. Branding. How do you go about branding yourself? Like, what in terms of like online and then physically while you're on the job, or while you're doing your thing? How do you go about that? Like, have you got certain stuff that you do that sets you apart, or what?
So in what sense? Because there's different answers to each thing. So how do I brand myself as a videographer?
Yeah. As a videographer.
So I mean, the most important thing for me, right, it was personal branding, right? So it wasn't even necessarily, definitely a production company or some sort of name that you can put on it. We turned TQ9 TV, which was that rap channel, into TQ9 Media, and that was the alias, or not even the alias, the brand that we'd present ourselves as. But I was able to turn a videography career into something more, on a hobby basis, into something that was genuinely, paying very well by creating a personal brand. And that personal brand was the Jack Cole brand, right? The YouTube channel and the Instagram. And I think that as a videographer, you're much better positioned to create a personal brand in this day and age. And that really just means an Instagram profile, right? That's what, in my opinion, that's what a personal brand is. You got an Instagram profile, right? Yeah. And it's obvious when I go to your Instagram profile that you're the video guy, and you will subconsciously program people to think of you when they have a videography project by simply posting constantly that you do the thing you do. You're going to a shoot. When you go to a shoot, your main mission is not to just make a video for that client. If I went to a shoot and I simply made a video for the client, I would feel anxious and I'd feel guilty that I hadn't have capitalized on that moment in a more thorough way by getting behind the scenes content. Mainly, you want to get shots of someone else filming you doing the thing, because then people in their head, they see, oh wow, there Jack is at another shoot. Next week comes, oh, there he is at another shoot. Oh, there he is at another shoot. All of a sudden, one day they've got a shoot. Who do they think of? They think of me, right? And I've had that happen so many times where I could see people are following my page and they see me turning up at shoots. They see me constantly active in the field making stuff. And that's because I've documented not just me, not just the project itself, but me shooting that project. I create content for the client, but I'd also try and get someone to come with me, and even they could even be on a phone shooting it, right? Or a camera, and do behind the scenes content. For branding, it's honestly the most important thing ever. Like I said, I would literally feel guilty and anxious if I went to a shoot and didn't come away with any behind the scenes content, because I would look at that as something that can never lead to more work other than that client coming back to me. Whereas if people see doing some shit, I had a fitness program, right? That they like the fitness influencers. It was a girl I went to school with. She became a fitness influencer. She was a fitness influencer with her boyfriend or whatever, and they were personal trainers, something like that. And they just followed my Instagram, right? And sure enough, I'm turning up every single day. I'm filming stuff. I'm constantly posting behind the scenes clips. I'm posting funny stuff in the office editing. And then sure enough, one day, the fitness influencer wants to make a fitness program. Who do they think of? The person who's been on their feed every single day, showing that they do that thing. Why would you go and build a relationship with someone new? Why would you go on Google and type in videographer near me?
Yeah.
You've already got someone in your mind. You got someone in your mind. And in that case, that's me. Because I've been branding. I've been, pushing my public, my personal brand and subconsciously marketing to you. Subconscious marketing in this day and age is done through just constantly showing people that you do the thing you do, right? If you're you could add it to any layer of life, right? Any industry. If you're a producer, right? Show you're in the fucking studio, right? I've got boys who are producers. They show they're in the studio all the time. You think people aren't in their DM asking for beats when they want to make a song? Of course they are. Because they're the person that they think of. It's as simple as that. Bro, you could be a construction worker. Show you're at the fucking construction site. And if I want to fucking add an attachment to my house in the form of a conservatory, I'm going to message you. Do you know what
Honestly,
I mean?
bro.
It's that simple, bro. It's that simple.
Honestly, I've got my own kind of like story for that as well, like youth, the gym and stuff like that. Like literally, I've been like, pumping out content, club videos, this, boom, 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 boom. There was literally, so in Bulgaria, I don't know if you know Sunny Beach at all, but there was, there's an event kind of like.
You say you're Bulgarian? You say you're Bulgarian?
No, I'm going to Bulgaria based on doing that. So basically, I was pumping out all this content, and then this event, like organized, it's called Sunny Beach Takeover. They're putting all these events and stuff.
I know Sunny. I know Sunny Beach. Yeah, my girl's Bulgarian.
Really?
Yeah, my girl's Bulgarian. So I know about Sunny Beach.
So yeah, they literally just like followed me. I sent them a DM saying, thanks for the follow, stuff like that. And they said, yeah, no problem. You've got some cool videos. So yeah, if you ever need any video or photography services, I'm your guy. And they're like, yeah, we're based out in Bulgaria. And then I just left them on red, bro. I didn't think anything of it. About a week or two later, I'm like, hang on, why am I being a fucking retard? They've literally followed me. They're in Bulgaria. I've got no plans for the summer. So, if I come over to Bulgaria, so now I've got booked for Bulgaria for 3 months because I've been putting out content and getting fucking BTS. Like, it's just what it is, bro.
Bro, that's sick. And bro, exactly. Like, that's the power of it, bro. Like, people will never know you do the thing that you do unless you tell them, especially in this day and age with so much noise. Like, there's so much noise, right? You go on the feed, what in the past week in the feed? There's fucking, this comedian slap this guy, this happened here, this happened here. There's so much shit going on your feed that, you have to produce a shitload of content to break through that noise. But that was always my style, right? I would just fucking shamelessly just push content constantly. And sure enough, subconsciously, people are going to see that. People will message you, all the time. Also, like a club posts the promo video, comment and say something along the lines of like, that was me. Or like, yo, it turned out so sick. So happy to have filmed this video, whatever. Like, pleasure to come film and edit. Yeah. I've gotten clients off the back of that. Like, Cirque was Swell, when they post my after movie, I jump in there and be like, yo, it was sweet to film this. Can't wait for the next one. Boom. Some guys are hitting me up in the DM saying, yo, you film that? Oh, awesome. I might have a thing for you to come and boom, boom. You know what I mean? And you need to be visible. Mm-hmm.
I've got a little hack, actually. I learned this probably back end of last year. You know how you can follow a hashtag on Instagram? Like, if you want to film, say you want to film, I don't know, fucking Cirque Soir or something in Manchester or something, right? Yeah. Say you want to film one of those and they follow a certain hashtag. What you can do, you can put that hashtag in your posts. Like, say you film like another club or something, and then you can put it in their hashtag and you will literally appear on their feed on the top bar. So I've literally gone and worked through that. So I
That's
follow.
hard.
So like there's like a club that I wanted to film called Cargo. They followed a
Mhm.
certain hashtag. I made sure to put the hashtag in the fucking my posts. And like, oh,
Yeah.
hang on, I've been seeing like 3 after movies that Jack's done. He's doing pretty sick. I'm always top of mind. And then like, Jack, I see some of your work. Come film for us. Like, fucking hell, bro. It's just get on that. Like that's a little. I don't think a lot of people know about that. Putting their
That's hard.
hashtags in your work, and you'll literally be at the top of their
That's
feed.
hard. Bro, that's and those are the little growth hacks. Those are the little social hacks that that are crucial. Exactly, like the comments, the pictures, something more intricate like that. Obviously, all the while just actually pushing content through your own personal brand. But yeah, I think that, this is a day and age where corporation, right? Having a corporation is less important like than a personality, right? It's going to be more relatable. Like if people don't give a fuck about TQ9 media, what is that? Like, that don't mean nothing to them. But like if they see me having a fun time at a shoot and like I'm trying to do some like maybe I've got a funny clip of the shoot out of like some behind the scenes or whatever, they find that amusing. They relate on a person to person level with me. And then all of a sudden that leads to business, right? So I think people should be more focused on structuring a personal brand than a corporate entity like some production company. I see a lot of people doing it under a production company, perfect shot production, smooth cut visuals, whatever, right? Whatever you label your company is.
Smooth cut productions.
I would advise smooth cut visuals, whatever. I don't know. I'm not calling anything out. If that is your company, I named that off the top of my head. I'm not calling out your company. Personal brand is going to always be more appealing. 100%.
100%, bro. So yeah, I mean, we're getting towards the last of our questions now.
I love it,
I think that might have been all of them actually. But yeah, it's been crazy, man. I mean, if you've got any questions for me, like just fire away. But I think that's probably all of my questions now.
All right, cool. So this is a video I put up the other day, right? Is freelancing profitable in 2022? What's your take on that, right? As a freelancer coming up, what do you suggest to a freelancer coming up, right? Because anybody who made it to the end of this podcast is clearly passionate in some sort of career out of this, like both of us have, right? So most people will have not made it to the end of the podcast, viewer retention and all that. The short attention span.
Well, they're the people who don't care about it. They can get lost.
Exactly, they could get lost. But is rest assured that the real hustlers who want to make something out of this, they're still tuned in. So what's your advice to those individuals on how they can build something that mimics what we've been able to do, some career around video production or creative services?
I mean, I think it's what we just touched on, branding. Like I back before COVID hit, like 2019, I was still in college, and when I was in college, my teacher did freelance photography, and he's a resident photographer for the National Diversity Awards, like huge thing in Liverpool, like Liverpool Grand Cathedral, fucking celebrities of all calibers. So he literally brought me along. I was like, I did it. I photographed and interviewed countless celebrities. I was like, fucking hell, this is what I want to do. So I'm there the night after. Like, right, I want to set my own kind of like little production thing. It's like, what do I call myself? I was like, why am I overthinking this? Jack Furley Productions, right? Boom. And then that's just literally that's been my thing, branding. And branding. You can't, like, literally, if I can't get anyone to come with me on a shoot, there's always someone wanting to come with you on a shoot. There's so many people wanting to break out. Like they'll love to get in the club and, fucking get on stage with a DJ and be like a VIP. Like the amount of fucking glares I get from like guys and girls like that. I'm on stage with the fucking DJ and shit. But if there's always someone who wants to, get into it, so just bring them along. They'll be like fucking. They'll do it for free, bro. Like 100%. They'll literally pay for their own fucking expenses. Like if it's another city or some shit. So bring someone along with you. What we've touched on, fucking film yourself, and then I would say put that content on YouTube. There's a clip that I've done recently. It's got like 150k views on like a new TikTok that I've done, like set it up and stuff. And it was literally me filming this guy. He was bored out of his mind in the club. And I was like, as we see here, like fucking David Attenborough type shit. As we see here, this is the bored clubber in his natural habitat. He's been dragged out by his friends and he's wanting to go home. And boom, that's fucking blown up. Yeah, bro, exactly. And that might have led on to some other work, but it's just all about, people care about the final edit, but they also care about seeing you at the job.
bro.
That's just as important, bro.
I told you, like, I literally back in the day, I'd be anxious as fuck. I feel guilty. I'd be like, fuck, bro. Like I could have shot the best video I ever shot. If I left there without any behind the scenes content or something that showed that I did that and some sort of documentation, it would feel wrong. Like it would genuinely feel as though I hadn't made the most out of that situation. And I would feel regretful leaving that thing, to the point that I would eventually just get anybody. Like I wouldn't go to a shoot if I didn't have somebody coming. It could be my boy who doesn't know how to take a video in his life.
Bro,
but he has a phone. He has a phone. And that's fine in this day and age, because at least I've got something of that event, right?
Bro, it could be anyone, man.
You know, it also gets to the point where if you're filming clubs, for example, if there's a resident photographer there and you're a videographer, right? You can actually just go network with that person. Be like, hey, mate, you know, would you mind taking a couple pictures of me? I'll take a couple of videos of you, just to have some behind the scenes content. And they're never going to say no. They were like, oh, cool. Yeah, cool. You get a video of me. I'll get a picture of you. Sounds like a plan. And both guys have created a mutual situation. But I do believe that 100%. To anybody who still stayed to the end, personal branding is crucial. Also, get some samples under your belt of what you do, right? So it's going to be rare that someone's going to pay you for something that they don't know you can do, right? So if you've never shot a video before, like, good luck finding someone who'll pay you for something.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen. But if you go film 3 videos for free, I've got a friend who's a rapper. Cool. Make him a music video for free. Boom. You've got someone who's got a wedding, right? Boom. Go film your auntie's wedding for free. Okay. Boom. Now there's another one. Get yourself a couple samples of the thing that you're trying to sell, and then just name a price and just message enough people until someone pays you. Like that's really it. So prove your value up front, and then reap the rewards later for sure.
Well, what I would say to that as well is make sure you understand the business side as well. Like there's so many, really good videographers and cinematographers and filmmakers, or even photographers. Like they're fucking, better than us. They've been studying this for the past 5 years in fucking college, university. But they don't understand the entrepreneurial business side. They're going to be a part-time filmmaker instead of a full-time. That's what separates it. So understand the business side, but also cover your ass. So like as a freelancer, I've been taking the amount of people who just kind of take advantage of creatives. It breaks my heart, man. Like some people can real fucking cheesy bastards. They don't appreciate what we give them. You pay me I don't know. Say you pay me £500 once, and I make an after movie for you. You then have the after movie forever. That's an asset. You have it forever. And it's
promotion for your business, whatever the case may be. 100%. And that point, I think that's a great point to end on for sure, is that you do need to understand the business aspect. When we started this podcast and you asked me, how did you get into this stuff? I related everything to my love of being an entrepreneur. Like that's where it comes from. And I think understanding the business behind it is definitely a crucial aspect to separating yourself from this being a part-time thing that gives you a little bit of extra money and is more of like a clout thing. Like, oh, look at me, I filmed this guy, but you know what I mean? Right. There's that. And then turning it into a real business where you're generally, you're actually generating a significant amount of money. Right. Yeah. And that's down to, for sure, structuring it in a favorable way from a business perspective. But I mean, this was a legendary podcast, bro.
It was, man. Honestly,
bro, it was a pleasure. Thank you, bro.
I loved it, man.